But moving along, part of this Aston Villa conversation has got to be Unai Emery. Where does he rank among coaches in the world? Um, and I think that's a really interesting conversation because this isn't so much about Unai Emery here because I do think he is a top five coach in the world right now. I think we're in a
Top
bit of a
five?
absolutely I do.
Top.
Who's
I don't hate
who's
it.
your
I
who's
don't
your
hate it.
five?
I
Who's
don't
your
hate it.
five?
Oh, I'm not sure that I could actually map out a five for you, but you've got Pep Guardiola in there. Right now, what Cesc Fabregas is doing at
No,
Como is
don't do
brilliant.
that.
Not sure he would be top
Don't do
five.
that.
Not sure he would be top five. Um, Goodness, Spalletti's been back at Juve and he's been really good. Xabi Alonso with Madrid has been there. You've got Luis
Mm,
Enrique
All right,
still. You've got,
let's kick this
but
motion. Let's
but
actually
but
talk
what
about
I'm
who the best coaches are.
but what I'm
Not the
thinking
10th best
here.
coaches. Let's talk about
Hold
who the
on,
best coaches are.
hold on.
Okay.
But the difference.
Pep
Hold on.
Guardiola is a better manager than Unai Emery, right? We can agree.
okay,
You
well,
didn't even let me say what I was going to
All right,
say.
go. So, apologies. I'm hearing you name a lot of
But
coaches that
what's
just don't
going on
belong
right
there.
now, and the reason you can't name the best five or the best 10 maybe is because we're in a really big transition spot for coaches right now, I think. Uh, if you asked me who the best coaches in the world were 3 or 4 years ago, the names at the top of the list would be Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Ancelotti, Inzaghi, Mourinho, Tuchel, Pochettino, Pioli, Zidane. What do these guys all have in common? None of them are coaching in the top five leagues anymore, with the exception of Pep Guardiola. So from 3 years ago to now, all of a sudden there's a huge shift in coaches, and there are a ton of newer coaches like your Cesc Fabregases and Xabi Alonso's and Arne Slots who are brand new in the top five leagues and are making waves with their teams. So can you name a top five or a top 10 based on accomplishments? Not really.
I mean, you
well,
can.
Dylan, let's hear because
Okay.
that is a good point, Charlie. That is, but let's hear your five.
Okay. Five that I have at the bare minimum that are better than Unai Emery. Pep Guardiola is a better coach than Unai Emery. He's still the head honcho, best in the world. Luis Enrique just won the Champions League with PSG.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think he
yeah.
is a better coach than Unai Emery. Mikel Arteta has finished third place, second place through the past 4 seasons at
Why not
Arsenal
first place?
because
Yeah,
you're going
I
against some
think
really good
I
teams.
think that
But
is the worst possible argument.
Mikel Arteta
Like,
has changed the culture around at Arsenal
yes,
into a very competitive
do
team.
I
I
think
think
our yeah.
he has manufactured, some would say inauthentically, but nonetheless he has manufactured a very good Arsenal team
I
that has
just
been
think,
competitive for years. I
but
think he is a
I
better
just think
coach.
it's the most hollow argument because they have won nothing.
Okay,
I
but
see.
what does Unai Emery won though for
No,
Villa?
but I'm
Okay,
not
but the
saying
difference is that Arteta's coaching a trophy hunting team in Arsenal, and Emery is coaching a mid-table team in Aston Villa.
Okay,
no,
sure,
no,
but
but well, I'm not. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I'm
And
not
and they've
arguing.
won more than Arsenal in that span.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Emery is better. I do think Arteta's a great manager, but I just think the constant argument or the way to back Arteta by saying that they have competed and placed second or third is a terrible,
well,
terrible
okay,
way to
okay,
back a coach.
that's fair.
Because,
That's fair.
look, and again, I think if you look at do I think Arne Slot's a better manager than Arteta? Now, no, but last season, 100%. I think Slot was I think the ability to come into a league and win a trophy is immediately puts you a pedestal ahead. And I think there's a legitimate argument for saying Slot's a better manager than Arteta. I think there is because he came in and did it. And look, did he inherit a good team? And yeah, but I do think that there is a genuine argument about Arteta if there isn't some type of success this season. It's some coach will be able to come in and like this Arsenal team is fantastic. So if not this year, when?
Yeah, I mean, I think that when you're gonna talk big about what Arteta has done, it has to be more on the team building side of it
Yeah,
because he's built a phenomenal squad and the way they play is brilliant, but they have fallen apart down the stretch multiple times over the last 5 years. So yes, Mikel Arteta is a top five manager in the world right now, but no, it's not because Arsenal are competitive. It's because he's built a team
okay, yeah,
that
no,
is the best in the world.
no, that's fair. That's very fair. And I also think that the play style is
The play style is great.
it's so mechanical to the level that you know how influential the coach is. That's really more
But
where I
also,
was going.
I think if you put and a number of those top five you just said ahead of him, Dylan, I think they would have two Premier League titles by now. I think there is a
I don't
if
know.
you
I
put
don't know.
Pep Guardiola, I think
I,
at Arsenal, and again, look, I know that's the if and or but
I think
type of
that's hard. I
argument,
think that's hard to argue though, just because Arteta's been so like unique as a coach. I don't think that you could have this Arsenal team without Arteta because of how different
He
he's been
built the squad.
in approach. He built the squad exactly how he wanted to. He brought
yeah,
in
but
the guy.
Klopp, Bill, Liverpool
Yeah,
slot
but
him in for a
I
season
mean
and won.
but the team was better. The Liverpool team last season was better than what
So
I
we have.
think you look at the
the
Liverpool team
only
last season and the
flaw
Arsenal team
the
this season. I think Arsenal are much deeper. I think they're very,
But
very
that,
close.
but like we were saying, and I was arguing for Bukayo Saka as a top creator in the world, and I still think that. But Mohamed Salah last season was a different demon.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
I
no
mean,
Mohamed Salah in
So,
this Arsenal team.
well, I think that the one flaw or fault that you can find in Arteta is that he hasn't won that big trophy yet, right? So I think if you're picking a manager, say Manchester United's in the hunt for a new manager and they can decide between Arteta and Emery, it I think it is it's a tough decision because you know that Arteta's going to come in with an idea in mind and with
but
a
yeah,
tactics and a squad in mind, but I might back Emery to win sooner than I'd back Arteta to win
I think
because
that's a good
Emery in the
argument.
last few
Yeah.
years with Villa has won a European trophy while Arteta has won an FA Cup.
Which was like 5 years ago or something, or like 4 years ago. And
So I
Aubameyang was
think
still
that at
on
the end of the day,
Arsenal.
not that Arsenal don't have a winning mentality under Arteta, they just haven't won yet.
And
No,
I think
that's
there's
reasonable.
a very real world where once they win a Prem or Champions League, the floodgates open, and then it's like they just start racking up trophies. But I think you look at the time it's taken
It's year seven
Arteta
of Arteta.
to roll out
That's
this
our
team
eight of Arteta.
and to only have one trophy, I think is a serious concern. And I want to kind of shift into another the next topic we're going to discuss, and that's obviously about Arsenal this season. Um,
I mean, can
and
I just say the other two coaches I have
yeah,
first?
sorry,
Because
Yeah,
sorry, yeah.
please
So,
Antonio
finish your
Conte
other
is a better
two.
coach than Unai Emery. He just
He's
won
not.
the league with Napoli last year with McTominay as his best player. I think
I think
okay.
right. I
Don't
think
throw shade
I'm
at
not throwing
McTominay
shade
because
at
he was
McTominay,
I
fantastic.
think right
but
But that's
now
another
though.
one that's
I think
close.
Antonio Conte is I mean, everywhere he's gone, he's won, and he just keeps on doing it no matter what. He didn't have a good team at Napoli last year. That was a
Okay.
fourth place team in a normal Serie A season, and they won. And then
All right.
I'm also taking Hansi Flick. Hansi Flick has done
Yeah, yeah.
miracles at Barcelona with one of the youngest groups of players and going out there and winning La Liga last year against Mbappe and Real Madrid, and then developing Lamine Yamal the way that they have, the
This
transition attack with
Hold on.
Rafinha. I think Hansi Flick,
It's absolutely he's done a great job, but Pedri was already established and
but
Frankie de
not even
Jong was
close to
already
as
established. Okay,
none
but
of
these are
those guys.
guys who were
All of those guys have gotten
already elite
considerably better
players.
with Hansi Flick at
These
the
were
helm.
already elite players,
This Barca
and
team hadn't done a thing for 4 years before Hansi Flick came in,
but
and now
but
they're back to where they
I
were.
also look at the big games, and they've had a tendency to not win as many of the big games as you would hope for.
Yeah,
Um,
Inter last year.
they lost in the Club World Cup to PSG by a lot.
Big games.
Okay.
I've
They-
never seen that happen in our
they
hundreds of
they
episodes.
they
I've
have they
never-
have not they lost to Inter Milan in the Champions League last year.
Yep.
They lost to Chelsea as an example at the start of the year this year in the Champions League. I think the big games is where they've struggled. And that's a tactical thing, and that's where I think Flick has struggled a ton. So
I
I
mean,
would take Unai Emery 100%.
I don't agree with you just because, I mean, first of all, Barcelona's a better team than Aston Villa. I'll have to get that out of the way before I go to where I'm going. But the improvements made on the individual player level since Hansi Flick has taken the helm at Barcelona just cannot be unnoticed. This is a team that going into their last season with Hansi Flick had not done a thing in the post-Messi era. Lamine Jamal became one of the best players in the world under Hansi Flick. Was he going to be there regardless? Probably,
We
but
don't know.
it did happen. Rafinha went from average winger in the Premier League, above average winger in the Premier League, went to Barcelona, didn't really do all that much, becomes one of the best players in the world. Pedri, as good as he had been, and this is going to sound like one of my ridiculous arguments that I've made over the years that you wouldn't think correlates, but it does. Hansi Flick is known for drilling his players into shape. You saw what Leon Goretzka looked like pre-Bayern, post-Bayern, Joshua Kimmich, same thing. Pedri, for the first time in his career, or second time in his career maybe, did not get injured last season. Pedri was healthy because Hansi Flick and that training regimen that they
So
did.
should Enzo Maresca be in this conversation because Reece James hasn't been hurt this season?
I mean, I'm not putting Enzo Maresca in this conversation because they're not. He's not as good of a coach as Hansi Flick. But like,
But I'm just like it's because of his
Devil's
training regimen.
advocate.
I mean that's a reason that I think Pedri has gotten better.
I
Pedri's always had that ability, but him not getting hurt, I think, does directly correlate to Hansi Flick being
Yeah.
in there. And then another coach that I'll bring up that I wouldn't say that he's a better coach than Unai Emery, but it brings up an interesting question of: are you a good coach if you can manage a specific type of player and not another? Because we saw what happened when Vincent Kompany coached at Burnley and got relegated, and then he goes to Bayern and
Oh
now he's
yeah.
coaching the best
It's
team in the
yeah.
world. I don't know how you evaluate him because you saw what he did with bad players in a bad league, which was not enough. But then he goes to the best team in the world, and they look like the best team in the world. So I don't know how to evaluate him.
But we
Where
can argue that at the very, very least, Unai Emery is in this conversation
Yes,
with
yes,
every single one of these managers. And so
yes.
you named 6 managers, I believe, that you think are better than him. So we can, I mean, I'm totally okay to settle that Unai Emery is a top 7 manager in the world.
Yes.
where does Sunderland's manager fit in this conversation?
I
What's
need
his
more
name?
time. Libri. I need more time.
Libria, yeah.
I just I can't crown someone that highly. I mean, I did it with Arne Slot last year, and we're seeing how that looks now. It's just like
Hey.
I need the season, especially since Sunderland actually are bottom in the league in XG. There's a lot of just like underlying factors to this team that I don't know that they're going to be able to continue at this pace.
It's a squad
And-
that's overperforming. They've done a
Yeah.
great job, but they are
which is a
overperforming.
And also
testament-
now with
which is a
AFCON,
testament
they
to a
have
good
like
coach.
4 or 5 players gone. So
Yeah,
this will
that-
I think this next period will really test to see his coaching. But